Jackson, can I get a little more on my monitor?
Can you please turn my beat up?
Hey everyone, how's it going? Sorry to interrupt your conversation, but I just want to welcome everyone to Live Low Spa Los Angeles. My name is Eugene Yang. I'm the Vice President of Live Low Spa. We're super excited today because we have a CBD panel. And I just want to let you know that the name of this panel is CBD Simplified. Okay, let's make that very, very clear. There's a lot of information out there. It's CBD Simplified, and what we're going to be talking about today is how to enter the market safely and successfully. And so we have some really great people up here to actually talk about this today. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce them. The first person I want to introduce is Hannah Duncan. She's the founder, owner, and creator of Well Products. So I want to actually give a hand for Hannah Duncan, please, for being here.
Yeah.
And I just want Hannah to just kind of tell us about her experience, who she is, and your experience with entering the market a little bit. So.
Okay. So as many of you know, I've been in the industry for 13 years, and when I when the conversation started about CBD about 2 years ago, there wasn't a lot of options for using CBD for therapists for the back bar. It was mostly these little jars that you would find in vape stores and things like that, but it was a conversation, it was really happening, and so I designed my Well products for the therapists first, for the back bar, the spa, and then the retail followed. So that's how I got started.
Thank you so much, Hannah. All right, the next person I want to introduce is Kelly Stoll. Kelly is the co-founder of Vital Body Therapeutics. She's also the co-founder of Vital Body Therapy. Kelly, can you tell me a little about yourself and how you entered the market?
Yeah. My name is Kelly. I'm actually a rolfer by trade, which is a type of bodywork that specifically works with injuries and chronic structural kinds of conditions. I own a spa in Santa Cruz for 10 years, focusing on injury-specific bodywork. And we developed our CBD line specifically to treat our clients who were telling us for years that they were getting amazing benefit from cannabis. And we wanted to create something that kind of disidentified with cannabis culture and allowed people that otherwise would be somewhat reticent to try a cannabis product. And that was sort of the inspiration for our line.
That's awesome. It's a great story. Thank you, Kelly. And some of you guys might know this guy over here at the end, the only man in the spa world. No, I'm joking around. But anyways, this is Hugh Huffaker, everyone. Hugh is a co-founder and CEO of Cosmetic. And so, Hugh, can you tell us a little about yourself and how you actually got on the stage today?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I entered just on a very personal level because my mom developed MS, and I was able to see a lot of help with muscle spasticity when she was ingesting CBD. And so, we take a very novel approach to everything where we use all botanical ingredients. We have a certified organic hemp farm in Tennessee. We do our own extraction, and we do all of our own manufacturing in Denver. And so, we like to take ingredients that nature gives and then use the PhDs we have on staff to kind of combine science with organic healing.
Great, thanks, Hugh. What we're going to be doing is just talking about some things that might seem basic to some people, but they're actually really knowledgeable, or it can help the spa industry. All the information, once again, is going to be CBD 101 type information. If you do have any questions or you want to continue the conversation, these people will be here after. Also, we have an app, a Live Low Spa app. It's actually on the right over here. It's on the Apple Store and also the Google Play Store. I highly recommend you, if you haven't already, download it. You can continue, the information here will also be on the app, and you can also continue the conversation digitally as well. So first I want to talk about just CBD in general. We've all heard it's really good, but can you guys just start by telling us some of the benefits of CBD in general, and also how this would help the spa industry? So, Hugh, would you like to start off?
Yeah, sure. So, two of the biggest things, and one of the reasons that we decided to be very niche and go into the spa industry was, people go to spas for relaxation. They go to help out with injuries, and also, just just to sort of like for calmness and like well-being. And so, CBD can provide all of those. It's very interconnected, your endocannabinoid system with your central nervous system and your immune system. And so when you take CBD, you start producing biochemicals associated with anti-inflammation, and then also it causes like a numbing of the pain signals being sent to your brain as well, which makes it pretty powerful in massage therapy.
Great, thank you. Kelly, would you like to add to that or any other information?
Yeah, I think one of the confusing parts about CBD is that it seems to have such a generalized impact. You can have epilepsy and get benefit from CBD, or you can have arthritis and get benefit from CBD. So that can be confusing for people. And one of the ways that I use to describe it, at least from our perspective being a topicals company, is that CBD really helps balance inflammation. So one of the number one benefits is for arthritis. And I think in the spa industry, we serve so many people with arthritis that it's hugely valuable to offer CBD for your clients just for that one reason. And there's a lot of evidence to really describe how that works. The simplest way is to say that it decreases the pro-inflammatory cytokines that are produced in an inflammatory joint. And that sounds complicated, but it really just makes sense. And so CBD is safe and effective, and I really recommend trying it with yourself and your clients.
So I always tell people when they're just starting out with CBD and they're trying to explain to their therapist how to describe CBD and what it will do, as I say, just use the word calm. It calms pain, it calms inflammation, it calms skin conditions, psoriasis, eczema, that kind of thing. Anything that's disrupting the cannabinoids, it will calm it down. One benefit that I like to use to describe is when you're offering a Swedish massage and your therapist is going in, the muscles from your client are fighting back against the therapist. But what happens with CBD is it calms that muscle so your therapist can get in even deeper. And that's how they can do even better work for the client. And then also makes it so the therapists don't have sore hands when they're not as tired. So we've seen an increase in massage therapists to be able to perform more massages per day, which is better for you and your profit margins. And it's also a very easy way to increase your add-ons at the end of the month. You'll see a huge increase if you just offer it to your clients.
Awesome, thank you. The next question is, this actually comes up quite frequent, is THC, right? So THC, no THC. This actually is quite frequent and on all levels of business I've actually seen across the nation. Can you just tell us about your perspective of how to answer that question, or what you would say to people who ask that?
Same order. Okay, yeah, sure. So most of the studies that have come out about CBD and its ability to bind to the receptors in your the endocannabinoid system are from ingestibles. And so what a lot of studies have shown, and it's not conclusive, but it's shown that the tiny bit of THC in the full spectrum does have some sort of effect in helping the efficacy of it in binding. But as far as topicals go, we use something called a broad spectrum, which means that we have all the other cannabinoids, but we actually take out the THC just because, one, it doesn't pass well through the skin anyways, and they haven't really shown any conclusive evidence that you need that THC in a topical.
Right. Thanks, you. Kelly?
The people who have the most concern with THC in a product are people that are drug tested. So people that work for the government, people in the military, they are really concerned about this. And the best way to give them that sense of security is to provide them with a COA, which is a certificate of analysis, which will indicate your product and what cannabinoids are in it, so the level of CBD. And it should show that if you have 200 milligrams in this product, that your COA should say that they tested for that same amount. And it will also test for the THC. So you can, hopefully get that trust with the company, knowing that you believe in their product and their sourcing. But if you have questions, that's a really easy way to answer them, is just to ask for their COA.
And I just want to stress again, because I know a lot of people, that's the biggest question that people have is, well, because do you have THC in your product?
No.
No. Okay, so all three of us don't have THC in our products, and they're all very, very effective products. And that's where a lot of confusion comes from, is that you must have THC for the CBD to work, and that's not true. Topically, you'll hear things like entourage effect. That is for ingestibles. So it's really important when you're gathering all this information, because there's so much confusing information, that the topicals versus the ingestibles are two completely different things with different rules. So you do not need THC for any topical products you're using on your clients. And this is so important because you can tell them you will not fail a drug test. And it is super legit to ask any of us for our certificates of analysis to prove that, to not only cover yourself, especially if you're corporate, but to also to show to your clients.
Awesome, thank you.
THC actually changes chemical form when you digest it. And so, people will talk about like different highs from smoking marijuana versus ingesting it. And a lot of that comes from the fact that it's not even THC anymore when it gets digested.
Right.
It changes form, so.
Got it. I wouldn't know anything about that, but
Yeah, of course not.
joking.
Me neither. Me neither.
The other one is the other question that I have from a lot of people is, where does one start? How do we incorporate this into their spa and their offering? So, Anna, would you like to take this one?
Sure. So if you're just starting and you're overwhelmed with information, and especially if you have to sell this to corporate, I tell everyone to please keep it simple. You don't need to create a new menu. You don't need to even create a new option. Just offer a CBD upgrade and just switch out the oil with the current oil you're using, or switch out the cream with a current cream you're using. How many of you offer pedicures? A few of you. It's so easy. A tablespoon of soak in the tub and switch out the cream that you offer the massage in. You have a CBD pedicure. That's it. So don't make it hard on yourself. And if you're trying to convince corporate, I've heard it a million times at iSpa. This was like a huge conversation of how do I get it past corporate? They're so confused. Just switch out the oil. That's it. Offer an upgrade. Charge $25 to $40 more. Your cost per treatment is probably going to be $3 to $4 depending on who you went with. And you can move on from there. It's the easiest way to start, and you'll start getting feedback immediately, and your increase in up charges will increase dramatically month one. Am I right, Rachel? Thank you.
Kelly, Hugh, would you like to add anything about that?
I mean, that's a great way to start. Yeah, there are so many ways to start. I recommend, the way we did it at my spa was we just offered CBD massage. And it's its own service, and the reason why we chose that is because offering CBD massage as its standalone service really adds to the novelty of the service, and it allows you as a spa to speak to the efficacy and the therapeutic benefit of your treatment. And I think that that's something that we should all highlight in our spas, because we have this amazing opportunity now to create another level of benefit for our clients. And singling out CBD massage as its own service is really a way to stand behind this potential and give your clients the opportunity to really understand what this is and how they can incorporate it into their life.
Great.
Yeah, and so one thing I noticed is, we always do in-house trainings at our spas, and I noticed in the beginning a lot of spas weren't sending their retail staff. And so we started requesting that they send their retail staff because, the cool thing with CBD is you do a CBD upgrade and people are feeling pretty nice after the massage, and it's a really easy slam dunk retail sale. But yet a lot of spas aren't really like getting their retail staff up to date on how the product works and just getting educated on it. And so we've seen major spikes in retail sales once the retail staff gets trained.
Let me add one more thing. My favorite fact about CBD users is 59% of CBD-only users are women. That means they're not smoking marijuana or vaping or anything like that. They're only using CBD and purchasing CBD. And the reason why, if you think about it, it's because we're the nurturers. We take care of our parents, we take care of our husband, we take care of our children. Who buys the Advil? Who makes the husband take it? Us. So that's why offering it retail, as Hugh said, is so important, because they want to use it, they want to try it, they don't want to put drugs into their kids or their parents, right? They want to use something natural. They just don't know who to ask, who to go to, who to trust. But they trust you. So by offering anything in retail, just try it out. You'll see that they've been looking for it. They just didn't know where to go because they're not going into the dark room with the weed sign in neon. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, guys. That's really good information. The next question is something that I personally get a lot, and it's how do I get it through corporate? Who else is doing this effectively? How do you even start that conversation? So, can you guys help us walk through that area?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Kelly, would you like to start this?
Do you want to start this?
Sure. One of the first accounts that we got, we're in Santa Cruz, California, and was actually Pebble Beach, which I would have guessed would have been an account we would never have gotten. And the reason that we got it was that the owner's wife tried CBD while she was traveling back east. And she came back to Laura, the spa director, and she said, I want to carry this here. So there are so many ways to navigate corporate, but I think the more people that try a product, getting it in their hands, giving them an experience of the benefit, the education is happening. People are learning that it's non-toxic, that it's non-psychoactive, that it's non-addictive. That's happening. So if you can get it in more people's hands and they actually experience the benefit, you just get so many advocates, it's a matter of time.
I can say for me, well, with all three of us, we're all safe. We're not called Canna anything. All of our packaging is safe. There's no weed leaves on the packaging. So it's really easy for any of us to slip through corporate because we look safe, right? That's A. B, again, it doesn't say Canna anything on our names. Thank you. And 3, again, keep it simple. If you're going to have a hard time and you know it with corporate, just do the upgrade. Only ask for the oil. Every single big resort corporate office that I've dealt with wants the COA. They want to know who it is, give them pictures of our product, show them our product, okay? And just ask for the oil. As soon as they see those dollars from the upcharges, then they want to know where is the retail. I've actually had many spa directors from huge corporations go, oh my God, send me the retail. He said yes, hurry. So because now all of a sudden their numbers went up. So and then now it's a conversation. So.
Great, thank you, Hugh.
Yeah, we actually hired some attorneys to come in and do an attestation agreement for us that attest. They came to the farm. They showed that everything was grown under the Farm Bill standards. This all meets industrial hemp as far as the testing of our biomass, where we grow it in Tennessee. And so the attorney essentially attests to the fact that it's industrial hemp, and then attests to the fact that all of our products meet the legal requirements under the Farm Bill to be legal in all 50 states. And for us opening up like the really larger resorts, that really came in handy as well.
Great, thank you guys. The next topic I want to talk about has to do with it can go pretty deep. I just want to remind you to just keep it on the top, up high level. People talk about sourcing, they talk about extraction, they talk about lab testing. Can you just tell the audience your high level views on those topics to answer them?
I can start. I could do very high level. Mine's grown in Denver, CO2 extracted, and it's created here in the USA. And so I have some of it created in Phoenix and some of it created in Philadelphia. But that is an important question because you have some CBD coming in from China. So it's definitely like a question to ask. Super legit. There's no reason why nobody would answer that or prove it to you.
Great, thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So when we were initially starting, we weren't sure if we were going to start growing our own yet, and so I started getting in samples from CBD from around the country, and we sent it to our own lab to start testing, and it was all showing up really high, and some were butane, some were heavy metals, others were pesticides, herbicides, and the danger with hemp, but also the really magical thing about hemp is that when you plant it, it will remediate the soil. It's like bamboo. So like whatever toxins have been used on the farm beforehand are all going to get pulled up into the stalk. And so I think that's why it's just really important to know where your CBD comes from, because it is a dangerous substance if it's not grown correctly. And a lot of people will use something called like a butane a butane extraction where they pour butane onto it, and the butane essentially like pulls everything out, and then they use a centrifuge to get the butane out. Well, there's still trace amounts of butane left if they don't do it right, and so it's just you definitely probably want to go with someone who's doing CO2, and I think both of us do a cold ethanol or ethanol extraction. So.
Yeah. I mean, you guys covered it. I think, when you get a COA from your hemp supplier, it should test for molds, pesticides, heavy metals, cannabinoids. You should get the whole profile, and you'll be able to see what it is. Certain states, we particularly source from Oregon. Oregon's kind of notorious for these stringent agricultural regulations. So, different states knowing the background of the land and just looking for an organic supplier. There's a lot of amazing hemp growers out there. You'll find incredible suppliers.
Yeah, warning sign is if they sell dog treats, facial products, and vape pens all together.
Oh, yeah.
If you see that,
Yeah.
you don't want to touch it. They probably came from the marijuana industry and are just trying to make a quick buck.
Great. We're kind of running low on time, so what I want to do is I want to open it up to people and have questions. But before I do that, can you guys give me some final thoughts, or what's your last piece of advice for some of these spas here, people who are running their businesses, just about CBD in general?
Okay, I can go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stress on keep it simple. Just really keep it simple. Don't try to do too much, especially if you just want to get in and kind of test out the market with your clients and if you have corporate offices. But just keep it simple. Your clients will give you the feedback. They'll tell you what they're looking for. They'll tell you what you need. But I did want to stress one thing is we didn't talk about like contraindications. One major thing that you need to know is that, and you guys will probably have more, but the one I always stress is CBD has the same enzyme as grapefruit. So if you have clients who are taking heart medication, antidepressants, blood thinners that are not allowed to eat grapefruit, please make sure that that's part of your intake form or your intake process, is to ask if they're able to eat grapefruit or is there anything they need to stay away from, because they should check with their doctor first. Again, they're not ingesting it, so most doctors are fine, but check.
Great, thanks for that.
Yeah. Speak on the same topic. Yeah, I mean, really one of the biggest contraindications they've shown is when people take ingest more than 100 milligrams a day for a very long period of time, it can lower an enzyme count in your liver, and it happens to be enzymes that are responsible for metabolizing 60% of pharmaceuticals. And so if someone is in chronic pain and taking lots of different types of pharmaceuticals, it can lower efficacy, and it's been shown in some cases to cause some liver damage as well. So that's the nice thing about topicals as well.
Right.
There's a lot less contraindications, almost none.
You're right.
Great. Kelly, contraindications first, and then we can do the final thoughts.
I think they covered it with the contraindications.
Yeah. Right, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'm so excited about CBD because in the spa industry, it's been a long time since we've had the ability to really increase the efficacy of our treatments. And as body workers, we want to create results, lasting results for our clients. As spa directors, we want to increase revenue and we want to support our body workers. And, as clients, you're really looking for alternatives to pharmaceutical drugs. And so for the first time, we have this opportunity to offer something that is safe and effective and non-addictive, and we should all take advantage of it and really do the education that we need and get the support that we need to offer it and really just grow our businesses and help people.
Yeah, I like to just point out that it's not often that you get a product where your client can get more healing and have a higher satisfaction rate. Your massage therapist, kind of like what you guys touched on earlier, the repetitive motion injuries, they can actually help fight that throughout the day. The massage therapist gets tipped more because it goes up, and the spa makes more. So it's kind of a win-win for everyone, and that doesn't come around very often.
Great, thanks.
Question?
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
I know what we say is that there hasn't been enough studies on CBDs and effects on babies in utero and on pregnant women, and so the risk is probably not worth the reward. And so I always advise the spas to not answer that question, and it's always please consult your physician. Because if something happened the next day, completely unrelated, they would blame it on the CBD immediately.
Right.
So.
Great question. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Hold on. We're filming this, so if you can speak into this.
I have two questions. The first is about, we have a lot of clients who have kids that are in sports, so we're getting a lot of questions about post-recovery massage and CBD and its safety for kids, dosage for kids. Is it the same as adults? And the other is, this is a completely layman's question, and it's for us to answer it a little bit better. The question of, is CBD cannabis, is it hemp? What plant does it come from? Super one-liner, easy thing, because we get that from clients, and then sometimes clients will come in and say things, so just like an easy one-liner.
It's hemp. Yep. Right?
It's all in the cannabis. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it's all in the cannabis family, but hemp and marijuana. Like, here's the weird thing. So, if when we plant our hemp fields, it has to be all feminized seeds. But if a male seed gets in there, it can actually start pollinating the female seeds and start growing marijuana. And so that's like how closely related that they are.
It's like saying roses. Roses is cannabis. But there's different kinds of roses. That's just a super.
Yeah,
super,
that's a good base level. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
it's hemp, and cannabis. Hemp is the cannabis. You know. So I always say it's up to the parents. You know, I mean, again, all three of us do not have any THC. It depends on where you live, and it's up to the parents. But it's up to the parents. It's up to the parents. That's what I say. Oh, the dose. I'm sorry. Again, I think, well, with mine, my strongest is 100 per milligram. So per ounce. So it's I think, crazy. So I always just say it's up to the parents. That's not going to do anything because no THC. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna help the kid, but you're not gonna overdose. Yeah.
In general, what I've said is, and this is just all from like a legal perspective here, is 16 and over. Anything under that is a complete decision up to the parents. And that way, when you set that limit at 16 and they're under, it's like a lot of spas will like have a waiver and things like that. Because I mean, if your kid's suffering from like epilepsy or this chronic pain and you're a parent, then it's a no-brainer. You're going to give your kid CBD instead of heavy pharmaceuticals and things like that. But I think from a liability and legal perspective, it probably makes the most sense to have like a cutoff because they like we were talking about earlier, they haven't done a lot of studies on the effects of CBD on adolescents.
And I suggest you never perform it on a child in the spa. I'm saying if a parent is asking about topically buying it for them and taking it home. But I wouldn't, yeah.
Great question. Thank you. Anyone else have a question?
Oh, we have one over here.
I'm on my way.
My question is for using the product line. When you have, or does your product line have CBD infused like in the cleansers, the mask? Because when you're using a cleanser, it's basically on and off. And I can see the absorption rate more in a mask because it's on for a while. So what is the CBD, or what products is it infused in? Or is it the whole product line for each of your lines?
So I think we all only have body, right? Do any of us have face?
I have face.
Okay, so you answer that question.
Yeah, so our cleanser, for example, is just a pure hypochlorous acid. No CBD in it at all. But for our other products, we actually use sort of like a pseudo nanoparticle for our CBD so that it absorbs through the skin. And so the CBD will actually absorb somewhat quickly through your skin on that. And they've shown some really nice anti-aging effects from CBD on your face as well, as far as skin cell regeneration. And so it doesn't, I think that it complements other products, other botanical products well, CBD. It's not like the say-all, end-all for everything, but when you use it in conjunction with other botanicals, it's pretty powerful.
And I do have a mask that's a face and body mask, but I get what you're saying. With mine, you actually don't remove it, the face or the body. You actually go straight into the massage. So it's a showerless mask. Let's say the scrub, right? I have a scrub, then it's the same thing, but it definitely has some anti-aging properties, skin cell renewal properties, that kind of thing. So it does absolutely help, especially in conjunction with other products.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? If not, these three panelists, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for your time. They'll be here for questions if you guys want to come up and personally meet them. They'll also be at the networking mixer as well. And so thank you again. And hopefully you guys have a great event. All right?
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Nice job.